I've just been waiting because I didn't want to like blow the gummy load, but I'm here. I'm ready to say it to everyone listening.
I know you'll know where we were when. I know you'll know where we were when.
Hello, and welcome to Where We Were When, a podcast where we look back at the most memorable movie-going experiences of our youth and eat candy. I'm your host, Heidi Gardner, and I'm joined by my brother, Justin Gardner. Hi, Justin.
Hey, Heidi. How are you doing this week?
I'm good. It's a week off from work for me.
4 weeks in a row.
4 weeks in
That
a
was
row.
crazy.
I know, and it felt crazy. And the year before, we did 6 in a row. I can't even wrap my head around how that happened.
Unprecedented.
Yeah, because I've been tired.
How's your sleep? Because I know that this schedule isn't like your general schedule. So
No.
how's that? No.
Before SNL, for some context, I was someone that could probably go to bed at 10 and sleep till 9 a.m. Like just an incredible,
insane,
amazing sleeper my entire life. And then SNL came along, and I would say, even on the nights when I can sleep, like say I had from 10 p.m. to 9 a.m. available to sleep, my sleep would look like 10 to 12:30 wake up, 12:30 to 1:30 be up, 1:30 no, yeah, 1:30 go back to sleep till 4:30, 4:30 to 6:30 up, and then hopefully try to fall back asleep at 6:30 till like 8 a.m. and then just be like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Just get up. It's so weird and chunks and gross. Bad sleep.
Yeah. It sounds like my sleep, to be honest with you.
Oh yeah,
Like that
you're
kind
like,
of. I'm a night owl, so it's definitely in chunks. Like it's not 11 hours. I mean, for Christ's sakes, like
I know.
that's insane. And was that dream sleep?
No, I don't have a lot of
Okay.
dreams anymore.
I know, neither do
dreams are
I.
gone.
I want to figure out every once in a while I'll have a dream. I'm like, man, like that's fun, you know?
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun going in and just, hanging out. But yeah, like I'm glad that you have a break. We've been able to record 2 episodes this week, and we've
Yes.
got an amazing guest on tonight.
We have
So why don't you introduce her?
an amazing guest who I have to say I was a fan of this woman before, like, I feel like now a lot of people are a fan of her, but I actually got to know her in an improv class in LA. But she's kind of blown up online now. She's an inclusive sizing consultant and content creator. She has garnered attention from major publications for her video series of the portrayal of fat bodies in film and television. You can find her on pretty much all social media as Rosie Beeme. When I said that she was our guest tonight, our editor and graphics engineer, Catherine, was like already like, oh yeah, I'm a fan. It's Rosey Blair. Rosie, hello.
Hi. Oh, so fancy. So nice. Good to be here.
You're so fancy and nice. I mean, if
I
you
love
look
that.
at her, everyone will go to her page after this, but it's one of the
Yeah.
most fanciest and nicest pages and funniest and inclusive pages on Instagram.
We love it. We like to create beautiful images and make it very cinematic. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you for all the like positivity you put out in the world. I've said it a lot that I sometimes get really overwhelmed by social media and don't know my place on it. And it's really cool to find like safe spaces on there. And I think that you're one of them.
Thank you. Yeah, I feel like social media has been so I wish it had been around. I think this is a controversial statement because I feel like people are terrified constantly of the impact of social media on young people, but I wish I could have found niche communities that I currently find myself in as a young person. I think it would have been so impactful.
Man, that's
It's so much better, right? Like
Yeah.
these like niche communities are so much better. They're so much nicer.
Yes, I completely agree. Absolutely.
Yeah, just general social media is a bit of a nightmare. But when you get into that, when you find your tribe, it can be really, really amazing. I'm sorry, Heidi, I cut you off, but I had to
No.
like agree with her because this is just one of those things. Like I kind of like I started doing social media like as a career back in 2007.
Wow, early
So
adopter.
yeah, like, no, in a corporation, right? So, like, I was one of the first people to actually, like, kinda do social media, like, get a corporation onto Facebook, and we were kinda past MySpace at that point, get them onto Twitter, have a YouTube strategy, do Instagram, like, all of that stuff, and I've seen sort of this, like, all of this promise, just sort of, like, get kind of funky and weird. And then but then when you can kind of find your tribe, it can be really, really awesome.
Yeah,
So it's
completely.
great that you've been able to not only find it, but I think define it to some extent.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think that there was definitely a large period of my youth and maybe into like adult years where I didn't really see people that looked like me or had similar experiences to me until I got
Mhm.
really online and really invested in being a community member. And I'm really happy to be in turn putting more media out there for others to see. So it's exciting. I really enjoy the relationships I've made there and seeing the real world impact that people make via that world is really exciting to me.
Now, we made our relationship in LA
Yes,
way back. Do you remember?
I do.
I know. We were in
Mm.
like, it was just like kind of a one-off workshop together, right? Like
Yes.
kind of an 8-week. Kevin Kirkpatrick was our teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
Improv.
I remember some aspects of that class, but not all. Groundlings was such a strange world for me, and I don't know what you went on with the program longer. I think that I left Los Angeles before I could finish the program, but I feel like I was
Mm.
starved for a positive affirmation in Groundlings classes because I feel like I don't know how here's how I would see it. I feel like I'd be like, "I don't know how I'm doing this whole time. Please give me something." And then at the end of the semester or whatever, I'd get this 20-minute long phone call, and it would just be beautiful, just such kind words, and they'd be like, "Oh, you're passed to the next level." And I'd be like, "Oh my god, thank you." And I'd feel like I'd be, like, out of breath after a whole, I don't know what, like, 12 weeks.
Yes. Oh, fully. I feel like it was the whole time you're in those classes, it's like I remember in our class, our instructor, Kevin, like I remember a girl kind of I think he was just saying her like the character she was doing was like a little Looney Tunes esque. I think she was doing a grandma, and I think he was like, "You're kind of being like Tweety's grandma." Like it was too caricature, just like. And I think I kind of snorted, and I think she like kind of came back with something that was like, well, at least I'm trying. And he was like, "Hey, I don't know if you signed up for like compliments. I'm just trying to like." And I remember that he like broke it down, and I was kind of like, I will never get a compliment here in my life. Like it was
Yes.
like, yeah. Yes.
I definitely
But
cite that, like, school as, like, "Oh, man, they'll put you through your paces, but you come out, like, just so much like, your tool belt just extends immensely." And I think I would recommend it to anyone just because I feel like there were other classes where I got constant pat on the backs and would rest on my laurels, and there I really felt like I could feel myself learning, like, my head would hurt after leaving the class.
What year
yes.
was this? What year was this? Because I kinda this is an interesting part of, like, the whole biography. Like,
It
do you
ooh,
guys remember?
maybe 2013? Is that 2013?
Yeah. I
2013,
think,
okay, so
yeah.
we're getting into kind of the middle because 2008 into 2009. Heidi, you started Groundlings in 2009?
I
Is that
think it
correct?
was 2009. Yep.
Yeah, because I remember because like, we've been talking basically, it's like it's always, like, difficult to be like, "Okay, like, what do you get each other for birthday, Christmas?" Right? And, um, Obama had just won. That's why I remember, and Zeb was writing the Obama comic, the Obama Spider-Man comic. That's correct?
Mhm. Yep.
Right, and I remember emailing with him and, because you wanted to do the Groundlings, I was like, "Oh, I'll take care of that," like, And so it was in 2009. And so like 2000, that'd be 4 years into that journey. And then 3 years later, right? 3 years later?
2017.
Yeah, 2017. So
Or I
so about 2 years before that is when you got into the Sunday Company.
Uh-huh.
So this was right in the middle of that time probably where you were like going up the ranks of the groundlings, and then probably having to like wait for a long time. You had to wait like sometimes like half a year to get into the
Yeah.
next class.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so I
It's
think
crazy. People don't realize how long it actually takes.
yeah, and I had started like 6 months before Bridesmaids came out, which after Bridesmaids
Mm.
came out, forget about it. It was like the wait
Yeah.
lists were insane.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I remember
It's
just having to rush online to get things and make sure you sign up for the next one because you had to also be approved. And then there's also the waiting list on top of that because there's like little
right.
couple of barriers there.
Yes.
It's just so cool to like to have that connection back to that time because I remember coming and seeing shows and it just was it was real it's just a really intimate interesting time, that like was gosh, I mean, you just never know, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
You never know.
You never know.
You never
And then
know.
things happen. And
You
then you're
never
doing a
know.
podcast with your
Yes.
brother,
And
and you're about to eat
Rosie
some
and I
candy.
are reunited.
Yes.
Reunited.
That's right.
And what better a way to reunite than with some candy?
Yes.
Should we get into our candy this week?
I love it.
No better way to reunite. I love that.
Okay.
I've got this bag.
Okay, we'll let you open first,
Ooh.
Justin.
Okay. God, this is big. Why do you keep sending
Again,
me
that's
these big
not
bags?
yeah, it doesn't look like what I
Oh.
sent you, and that's definitely not my handwriting I saw in the package, but
I've
go
got
ahead.
Okay, well we've done this before.
We
So
definitely
what is
have.
in this? What's in this? What's in this? What's supposed to be in this?
You probably know more than I do because I'm pretty sure you send yourself these packages. I send you candy. Okay.
Trolley? Yeah.
Trolley.
Trolley?
But
Trolley?
I know that you got yourself a lot
Trolley?
of trolley. I didn't
I
send
didn't
you
get
all
myself
that
a lot of
trolley.
trolley. I don't even like trolley. But
Yeah, right.
Not- I mean,
Everybody
but if
likes
trolley-
trolley.
trolley-
Well, we're going to talk about
if you're
that.
listening, trolley, I'm just being funny. But yeah, I've got a lot of this trolley stuff. So what do you want me to? There's sour watermelon sharks. What do you want me
Oh
to
my
dig
God,
into?
I never. Okay, so they're trying
Sounds
to go up
good.
against sour watermelon sour patch. I want everyone to get out their worms. Can we do
Okay.
some worms
Okay.
tonight, guys?
Let's do the worm.
Yes.
Mm.
Sour trolley bright crawlers.
You guys are blowing my mind. I thought they were called trolley. I've never heard them pronounced, so now I know it's trolley.
It might be trolley.
It
Is
might
it trolley
be
or
trolley,
trolley?
Rosie.
Yeah.
I could see
Trolley,
that, though.
trolley. But would they say troll?
Are
I
they
don't know.
German?
Would they want to be called?
Like, is it
Ugh.
trolley?
Yeah, I mean trolley. When you say trolley German, it
Hmm.
sounds a lot better.
Sounds Swedish though. That sounds a little Swedish to me.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Okay, so just so we know, there
Trolley,
it's two
trolley.
for
I
trolley,
take it
one for
back.
trolley, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I take it back, trolley. These are really good. These sour bright crawlers. I've got
Okay.
the very berry kind.
Okay.
Mm.
Now, Rosie,
They're
when
quite good.
you heard it was going to be, I'll say it your way, trolley, sour bright crawlers tonight.
Yeah.
What was like your first reaction to that candy?
This reminds me of my fiance because
Oh,
he loves gummies, and I always specifically the trolleys.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I am at the store, I always bring him home like a little gummy if I know it'll make him feel good. I never really cared about gummy candy until dating him. So
Really?
yeah.
He got you into gummies.
Uh-huh.
Good guy.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get
Good
you
guy.
into meth or heroin.
Just gummies.
Gummies. I kind of feel like, and I'm a gummy head. I'm a sour head. We just did Sour Patch Watermelon. I've been holding off on doing trolley sour worms because I think they're the best sour gummy, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hands down. I think they nailed it. I think they
Mhm.
figured it out. And I've just been waiting because I didn't want to like blow the gummy load, but I'm here. I'm ready to say it to everyone listening.
They're good
She's gonna
because they're
blow the gummy
soft.
load.
Yes.
A lot of people have like the worms can get hard sometimes,
Mhm.
and these are always nice and soft and chewy.
Yes, they are. They have the right amount of powder.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like a velvety coating. Like it's not when you first touch it, but then the second it goes in your mouth, it's kind of velvety, I think.
Here's the thing. This is interesting. So I've got these sour watermelon sharks, right?
Yeah.
The sour bright crawlers are gummies. The sour watermelon sharks do not have gelatin in them. So
So what does that mean?
they're a little like more like they're a little stiffer. They're more like a Swedish fish, but they're good.
Can you show
These
us
have
up
that
close what they look like?
Yeah, absolutely. So see that guy?
Oh, wow.
Definitely very, very shark like. They have a very good design,
Mhm.
right?
But it's
See?
a hard
Like
shark.
that. It's a little harder.
Mm-hmm.
And then as we get into these other ones, I've got some octopus, and these guys, I think we're going back to gummies with these guys. Yeah, that's definitely a gummy.
Those
Look
are
at that guy.
good. We love those.
Oh my
Look at
god,
that
the
guy.
octopus are like just
Oh,
I need to retract my statement.
they're insane.
Thank you for the reminder. I don't know what I was thinking. The octopuses are even better than the worms. The trolley sour octopuses trump all.
These are insane.
Yeah.
These are like, and they're huge.
Yeah.
You know what this is like? This is like, because they are like, look at these. I haven't seen better looking gummies though. Like I have not, because like, look at that. That's a legit octopus,
Those are beautiful.
Yeah.
right?
It's art.
It's art, and it's like it's massive. This is like about 4 gummies in
Yeah.
one. So
Because you have the tentacles.
And you get the little head too, which is kind of a fun eating experience. You could bite the head off of it first or take a tentacle off one by one.
Yes.
get the little head. Recreate a scene from Old Boy.
Mm.
If you guys haven't seen that, very
Haven't.
famous. Yeah, we'll see if we put a clip of that on. It's a little because the guy eats a live octopus.
Okay. Well, actually, I'd like to request maybe a side by side of Justin eating the trolley octopus with a man eating a live octopus, if that's possible in our visuals.
Yeah, because
Catherine.
the original, the OG, not the bad. Sorry, Spike, but not the bad Spike Lee remake. But this guy literally just starts stuffing his octopus in his mouth and just starts chewing. Violates all kinds of, I'm sure, you know, standards when it comes to like animal cruelty. But it
Okay.
is a hell of a scene.
Well, if it's too cruel, then don't do the side by side.
I think
Or
it's
blur
probably.
it.
I think it's
Blur it.
probably dead. I think it's probably dead. Listen, it's part of cinematic history.
That's
You know,
true.
hands get dirty sometimes. So you know, it's like
I didn't do it.
stuff
but-
happens. Stuff happens back in the day. We just have to accept that stuff happened back in the day. Wouldn't happen now. But
Mhm.
I'm eating some octopus, right?
Yeah. Those octopus are so good. Were the sour watermelon sharks, how did they stack up to sour watermelon Sour Patch?
Good. Number one, they're bigger,
Uh-huh.
so that's just a plus right there. Because the sour watermelon, they're kind of tiny. But I like them.
Okay.
Good watermelon taste. I would say equivalent, but I have to say that sometimes when you go to the gas station, something that, you know, if you live in New York City, you're not going to encounter very much, but go to the gas station and they have these like generic brands of candy,
Mhm.
right? And there's this one called Sathers. I don't know if it's just around in the Midwest, but they've got amazing cherry sours, and they have
yeah.
they have a sour watermelon that kind of tastes like that, you know?
Ooh.
So I wonder sometimes if like, you know how it is like when they're these big factories that just make stuff, they'll just like rebrand it, you know, and they'll just
Mhm.
pump it out. It feels like that company, like Trolley, makes the generic kinds too for all those different ones because that was a very,
Mm,
very yeah. But definitely like the Sour Patch Kids has its own thing, has its own vibe.
okay. Now, Rosie, when you were a kid, I think Trolley is like after my time a little bit. Was Trolley around when you were little?
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
so
I
you grew
think
up with it.
I think so, yeah. I know that again, was not always a gummy girl. I know
Mhm.
my sister, this was like her candy of choice, and she's
Okay.
4 years under me,
Mm.
so
Okay.
but definitely around us in childhood.
Yeah, because I feel like it's just been on my radar maybe the last 10 years. Justin, would you say like kind of Trolley's just kind of picked up on your radar? I know
You
you
know,
didn't
my
grow up with
radar,
it. You're my
my
older brother. We never had
my
Trolley.
radar, my radar isn't as finely tuned to gummy aficionada
Okay.
as you are,
It
but
is
I
now
swear
though, because of
it
me.
is now. And there's two other things I want. Honestly, the first time I really like noticed Trolley was when they were doing uh James Harden's beard.
Yes. Weird
That's
beards.
the weird beards. Yeah. That's when I remember them. That's why I was like, what is this? Right?
Mhm.
It's like a new player had come into town. So
I
that's the
feel like
first thing.
they have like they expanded the technology of gummies. I feel like they constantly reinvent the shapes and the
Yes.
offerings.
Yep.
Like I feel like there's been like strange, like I want to say that maybe there was like a glow in the dark. Can we eat glow in the dark food? Am I imagining something?
I
But
feel like you're right. There were like
We
these
can't eat it.
yeah.
It's possible.
But there were those ones that they look like little beans and they look like they glow in the dark and they're like crunchy on the inside. They're also worms, but they're not necessarily gummy. It's just yeah, it's like the gummy technology. They are the Elon Musk or of gummies.
The
Yeah.
Tesla of gummies.
so much
Yes.
innovation. Yeah.
Yes. And like at this point, Haribo, which is still really good, it's kind of like Toyota.
Mm,
You know?
yeah.
Like reliable, good
Not a
gummy.
competitor
I'd, s-
though.
I'd
Yeah.
say Haribo is Mercedes. Still very much a luxury brand,
So
you know?
Sathers is maybe the Toyota.
Bingo.
Okay.
That's the Kia, that's the, Honda, or that you know what? It's Ford. That's Sathers is
Yeah,
Ford.
is Ford. Okay.
And then you've got the Albanese. Have you seen these things?
No.
Is that a candy or a car?
It's a candy. It's these like it's the gourmet, it's like what you'd find in like Marshalls and TJ Maxx. It's the gourmet gummy bears,
Oh.
right?
Right. Oh, I
You've
do.
seen them, the white
Yes.
packaging. You know what I'm
Oh, I
talking
know what you're
about.
talking about. They're very good.
Yeah. The organic, whatever the fuck that means when it
Mhm.
comes to gum. How do you have organic gummies? You have organic gelatin? Really? Okay.
Maybe organic red flavored red syrup number 1
The
organic.
dye, yeah. It's like
Yes. Yes.
we get it from bugs that eat organic things.
It's made from a piece of fruit that we can recognize and not just the red flavor. Yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
That's it.
Sure. We'll go with
Organic.
that.
Okay, well, I think we've covered the fact that we're
Gummies.
all trolley fans.
Yeah, immensely.
Whew. Lots of trolley in my stomach now.
Yeah, you went hard on the trolley. We
I went hard.
Rosie and I are going to be able to, trolley as
Sleep
we
at night.
talk movies. So
I'm
Rosie,
done.
you're on here today to tell us about some of your most memorable movie going experiences.
Yes.
So I'm dying to know, what is your first Where We Were When pick?
It's got to be You've Got Mail. We're going to go chronological today.
Oh my God.
Ooh.
My girl
yes.
on this one.
Yes.
My girl on this one. And I have to say, Rosie, I have you to thank for this. You have hyped You've Got Mail, I feel like quite a bit on
Yeah.
Insta. I know how much you love it. I wasn't sure you were going to pick it tonight, but I know your deep love for it. And it made me go back and watch it last year. And what a film. And to actually be living in New York now and watching it, it was really, really special for me. So thank you.
I love that. I really hope that you sought out like any kind of experience in the real New York world to try and mirror anything you saw in the movie?
So I haven't, but I legit, once I knew that you were doing that tonight, I was like, why haven't I done that? And so I literally had the thought, I was like, maybe that'll be my Sunday tomorrow, is trying to
Oh
have
my
You've Got
God.
Mail moments.
I can't imagine a better Sunday. I feel like every time I visit the city, for some reason I end up staying in Midtown and I'm like, why am I here? Like, why am I not in Nora
Yes.
Ephron's New York? And I feel like that's always like I'm wringing my hands, like for spending so much money and in an area that I don't want to be in. And I want to
Yes.
chase down like the bookshops and the charming little cafes that they're in. And it's just, I think that there needs to be an adult theme park for people that love You've Got Mail or Nora Ephron's
Oh,
New York in general.
such a
There
good
you go.
idea.
Nora Ephron's New York.
Yes.
Coming soon to Universal Studios Orlando.
Yes.
Oh.
Like enough with the Harry
Why not?
Potter Marvel
Why not?
rides. Like, let's give it to like
Have something for the middle-aged women, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah, throw
The
my
kids
money
are going
at
and
that.
doing their right. The kids are going and doing their thing in Harry Potter land, right?
Mhm.
The women then get to like basically like leave their hubbies and go and experience New York and potentially a new love, right?
Yes.
For a short period of time. Just
Mhm.
to dream, right?
I
Just
love
a little
that.
bit of dreaming, right? I
And
think
it's
that would be
eternally autumn at this theme park. Ideally.
That's right.
Oh,
That's right. There's always a vendor on the street selling those like hot nuts, right? You know, in the little paper packages, right?
Yes.
You've got a nice little park that resembles Central Park that you can walk through, a pond,
Mhm.
maybe some ice skating, even if it's in the middle of summer, right?
I love
Yeah.
it.
I think it's something we should pitch. We should
Yeah,
get it
that's
together and we should pitch that.
we should put it together. Now Rosie, where were you when do you remember first seeing You've Got Mail, where you were?
Yes. Yes, I was. Like completely. I was at the Castle Linda Theater in Dallas,
Mm.
Texas.
Yes.
Mm,
It was 98, so I was 10 years old.
10 years old.
98.
And
Wait, will you say that again? Castle Ingle?
Casa Linda Theater,
Casa Linda Theater. Okay.
Casalinda.
Okay.
now a grocery store,
Okay. Oh,
which is so
Aw.
wild because You've Got Mail was one of the last movies that they showed, and it was on the
Oh.
marquee for like 15 years after, and they wouldn't take the sign down.
oh my God.
One of those.
Yeah, and it
Oh.
was there
Even after
like,
AOL sort of went out of business.
yeah, it was You've Got Mail, Mulan, A Bug's Life, and Mighty Joe Young. I think were on that marquee for a
Wow.
really long time.
Not a bad lineup.
No.
Not a bad lineup.
No.
So-
You know, you could watch that. I could watch
Yeah.
that today. Mighty Joe Young, the others, absolutely.
Now, what did the Casa Linda Theater look like?
I just remember a lot of red velvet interior,
Yes.
and it was definitely one of those
Of course.
older theaters that had to have been built like before the 50s at some point, because I didn't see many theaters like that after that time period in my life until I moved to LA, and it was just like beautiful movie theaters everywhere you go.
Right.
Um, I don't, and then I just remember that the chairs were very uncomfortable. Like even as a kid, I
Mhm.
could recognize that, and
Mm-hmm.
that it. I questioned the cleanliness of it. Like I feel like there's just like years of popcorn like impounded into that carpet,
Of
and
course.
Yes.
you could tell that it was old, and I had that awareness as a kid for sure.
Okay. You had that awareness as 10-year-old Rosie. Can you give us a little insight as to what that version of Rosie was like? Who was this little 10-year-old?
I was the president of a little movie club that I started, named the Movie Club,
Mm.
and
Yes.
we saw this movie as my choice for the month.
Oh,
And we had little like photoshopped IDs that someone's dad made for us. It was
oh my God.
really cute.
In 98, that was like
Yes.
that was some doing.
It like definitely, if I can like remember it, my mom still has it at her house somewhere.
Good.
It's very like pixelated looking. It's
Cute.
of its time for sure.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's
That's
okay.
why I love
Photoshop back then. Yeah.
it.
And how many other little members of the movie club at its peak do you think you had?
Okay, I'm gonna name drop here.
Yes.
It's Lindsay Kay, Julia Russler, Emily
Yes.
Reed.
Love her.
I think Elizabeth Moran.
Okay.
Maybe a girl named Jenny Seeley. I think that there was like 5 or 6 of us.
Oh my God.
Mm.
And was the whole club together for You've Got Mail?
Yes.
Yes.
That was like, I wish I remember what month it released. I feel like it was like a holiday season release.
I
if
think
I
it
could-
was too. I was thinking back about it, Justin. I know that I would have been high school and you were out of college or college
No,
or
no.
out.
98 was college.
College.
94 to 99 was college for me.
Okay, but I remember seeing this one with you, and so I think it was like a holiday movie. And I remember
Probably, yeah. Summer, or it seems like it would maybe be a summer movie. I don't know why,
right.
but holiday it could be. We'd have to look it up. But I just feel like it was a summer movie for some reason. I don't know
Okay.
why.
But it did
probably
feel
wrong.
like a big deal because of the AOL of it all. Like
Yes.
right? There was
It was new technology.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the whole you've got mail, right?
Yes.
That guy.
Yeah.
Remember that guy?
Yes.
Right?
Perfect.
You've got mail. That was, I mean, we were talking about social media earlier. AOL that was it. Like
Yes.
that was the internet,
Yeah.
you know?
That's
And
it.
so and remember how expensive it was dialing up, staying on, you could only stay on for so long or else you'd get a crazy bill,
Mhm.
right? Because it was by the minute. The sound. The modem. Everybody remember that modem sound,
Yeah.
right? And then if you were lucky enough, you've got mail, right?
Yeah.
Like that
Oh my God.
sound. It really was. And this was like the first, I think, like movie that used besides Videodrome. It wasn't really a romantic comedy, Videodrome. But the first romantic comedy I think that used technology as like
Yeah.
the basis of the thing. And it's like, ooh, we're emailing. Remember when emailing was fun?
Yes.
Mhm.
Remember when
Yes.
it was like, oh, what is this? What is this message that I didn't ask for from somebody?
They were
And now we know it is
presents.
spam.
They were total
Yeah, they were like,
presents.
somebody's trying to sell me something, right?
Yeah.
Like, little did we know.
Scroll and make a wish. I feel like that was what I got a lot of in middle school. Was just the scroll. Think of the
Yeah.
boy's
Yeah.
name that you love and scroll. There were all these asterisks.
Yes.
And then send it to 10 people or
Right.
he'll die.
The boy you love will die.
Yeah. Yeah.
Intense
And that was the
repercussions.
chain mail.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh
But
my
chat
gosh.
rooms, that was chat, right?
Yeah.
The whole idea of chat rooms and being able to like connect with people over the internet. And also, here's the other thing too. I would argue that You've Got Mail popularized internet dating so that it wasn't weird. Because before
Yeah.
then, if you would meet somebody on the internet, people would be like, ugh, like you met somebody on the internet, right? And that was happening.
Mhm.
But 98 was or sort of this inflection point. And then after that, Match, OkCupid, all the others, right? All those dating sites just started started popping up, right? And I think it's because if Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan can do it, like why not?
Then we all have a shot.
We've
Now-
all got a shot.
Speaking of Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, Rosie was Sleepless in Seattle and Joe versus the Volcano. Had you seen those movies going into You've Got Mail?
I feel like I probably saw Sleepless in Seattle, like having my mother like be into it and it being there, but it didn't like resonate with me in the same way, I guess. And Joe versus the Volcano, I feel like I didn't see like till years later. And
Okay.
I'm glad because I feel
Nobody
like I wouldn't
saw
have
Joe versus the
appreciated it. Yeah. Exactly.
Nobody appreciates that movie. It's just really, it's like they didn't appreciate it at the time.
Yeah.
And
But I
many people don't
appreciate
appreciate
it.
it now.
I appreciate it now.
People, right?
Yes.
Not
Okay.
aficionados. Aficionados will always appreciate, good cinema, but just
Yes.
people in general. Joe versus the Volcano is not busted through that glass ceiling yet.
No. And maybe it will, because I know that on TikTok, the teens are doing like little fashion challenges. And
Mhm.
a big one this year is Meg Ryan Fall, and they've been emulating her outfits
Mm.
in various movies, specifically the Nora Ephron
She was
movies.
Yeah.
she was 3 different people in Joe versus the Volcano,
Yeah.
wasn't she?
Yeah.
She was the person in the actual, like, office with Tom Hanks at the very beginning.
Mhm.
Then she was the sister, or she was like
She was
the,
someone in a
you know,
car that was cool.
she was cool. She was like this, like, she had like a New Jersey accent, I wanna say, and then
Mhm.
her sister came on, right, who was like the serious one,
Mhm.
right? And she played all 3 of those characters. So, Rosie, make it happen, you know? Throw it up on TikTok and be
should.
like, "By the way, did you guys know that she played triple duty in Joe versus the Volcano? Check it out."
I think she's wearing contact lenses for all those characters too, because I think that she looks
Probably.
so different as all of them.
Yeah.
It's not just a wig. Like there's some other things going on.
Very different.
Yes.
Yeah, very, very different. Absolutely.
Now, okay, we went on to Joe versus the Volcano. I started it, but back to You've Got
It's
Mail.
too good. It's too good. It's too good. It's such a weird little movie.
Rosie, you're seeing it. First of all, I just want to know, at that time, 10 years old, what was like when you would go to the concession stand, what was like your go-tos?
Reese's
Mm.
Pieces and popcorn.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Together?
Yeah.
Together?
They're like, they
Combined.
melt, so warm, gooey. Yes. Gourmand.
So you figured it out a long time before a lot of other people did.
Yeah. I hope so.
The combo.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
my
don't think
mother
that
did
was
it with Milk
popular back
Duds.
then.
I'm jealous of you, Rosie, because I've talked about this before on this show. I'm kind of embarrassed to say it, but I used to never buy Reese's or get Reese's Pieces at the movies because, again, it was like Butterfinger. But then I also have a follow-up story, Justin, that you're, it was like, Butterfingers. I thought they were like too cool for me. Like I thought Reese's Pieces were like
What?
too good. They were like too nice. They were too nice.
Oh no.
Too nice.
But Justin,
I still trying to wrap my head around this like, how old were you? You were like 14, what, 13?
no, I mean, this
And
was
you're-
like our whole childhood. Like,
Wow.
but I will tell you the one time that I find, like, I'd had maybe like 2 Reese's Pieces, like, ever. Justin, the one time.
2 pieces of Reese's.
No.
See, I don't believe that because E.T. You saw E.T. Everybody after E.T. Everybody wanted Reese's Pieces.
No.
I just don't think that like you would have been like that was inaccessible. Butterfingers, I can kind of understand a little bit, because that it just sort of looked high class with that yellow and blue and that crispity crunchy peanut buttery flavor. But
Justin, I know the next time I had Reese's Pieces and you're going to be shocked. Okay, so I
Okay,
probably had
go
them
for it.
when I was like little. Like I said, like 2 of them at like 8 years old. I didn't have them again until I was like 12 years old and mom was dating Chris.
Okay, yeah, the Candy Man.
And so our mom was dating this guy who worked in a warehouse where he packaged
all the candy.
They had all this candy.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so he would bring back these he wouldn't just bring us candy, like just a candy bar. He would bring us what they would sell to the gas station. So say it was Reese's Pieces, he would bring us 24 packs of Reese's Pieces.
It was so weird.
Jackpot.
So
what a weirdo.
Yes. So he brings us, okay. And so at the time, our mom, so she's dating Chris, but she was living with this guy, Bob. But Bob was just like a friend. He was a guy who sat at the bar that she worked with.
So can we just get into Bob a little bit, please?
Yes, a little.
We have to get into Bob. Okay. This amazing house in Brookside in Kansas City.
Yes.
It's like, and it was like 4 rooms. Okay. Bob was just one of those guys who I think he was like an engineer. His name was Bob.
Mhm.
We just Bob, right? And so, yeah, so we needed a place, mom needed a place to stay and she needed 3 bedrooms, right? Because one for her, one for Heidi, one for me, right? And we split times between. And I think Heidi, though, you lived with her mostly full time at that time. So this is a 4-bedroom house, right? And so what Bob does is Bob gives us the 3 nicest rooms in the house and he is in the tiniest room and he's just cool with it. He's just one of those guys that
Aw.
he was
Yeah.
just cool with it. He had this cat named Koo that was a Siamese cat, and Bob loved that cat. I mean,
Loved Coo
loved it,
Girl.
right? The only problem, yeah, because like Coo Girl. The only problem is Coo Girl didn't love him too much because when he would like sort of like nuzzle up to her sometimes, he would get it to the face.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like he would get batted. So this just really super nice guy who was just incredibly generous with his living space for
Yeah.
what was it, a year, 2 years or something
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, it was one of those really, when you are a single parent, right? You kind of have to figure it out. And like that was just one of those guys that like, just kind of came into our life and then just kind of vanished.
Wow.
When we moved on, we found like a place of our own. So
Yes.
yeah,
But when
just
we
shout
were
out to Bob.
living there with Bob and mom's dating Chris, he brings me like on a Friday night a 24 pack of Reese's Pieces. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a nice candy. Oh my God. I'm like freaking out. Okay. And
A nice candy.
so I open up one of the Reese's Pieces. I like shove like a couple handfuls into my mouth because I am like, this is the nice candy. And I eat it. And I'm like, this, and also this tastes incredible. I haven't had this in years. I can't believe I haven't had the nice candy. I'm like, it was just incredible. And I was like, and I have 24 more packs of it. This is insane. This is amazing. So I take that pack, I put it back in with the other 24 packs, and I like put it wasn't like it was under the sink, but it was in one of the like lower cupboards or something. My mom, I think I go out to dinner with her and Chris or something like that. I'm thinking about Reese's Pieces the entire time. I'm so excited. I'm pretty sure I don't even get dessert wherever we are. I don't even get Foo's custard. I'm like, I'm going home. I'm eating the Reese's Pieces. I walk into the kitchen. It's dark. I open up the cupboard. I grab around in that box. I grab my Reese's Pieces. I take a huge handful and I shove it in my mouth, and it was covered in ants.
Oh no.
Probably
Mm.
hundreds of ants in my mouth.
Oh no.
And that is now the
Wow.
taste. I know what hundreds of ants taste like with Reese's Pieces. And now it's like,
So what happened?
I just
Finish
was like,
the story.
I didn't even understand what was going on.
Did you swallow them?
I swallowed some, and I think to mom, I was like, what's wrong? Why is this? And she was like, she saw just ants crawling out of the bag, out of my mouth, and was like, what? Spit it out, wash out your mouth, all this stuff. So Reese's Pieces have never been meant for me. They are too good for me. When I eat them, they get covered in ants. Like, that's how it goes.
Well, I'm glad that you gave him a chance.
So I know that was so far off field. You said that you ate Reese's Pieces and popcorn, and I went there with it.
Wow, we're coming all the way back. We're coming all the way back to the Reese's Pieces. I complimented you, Rosie, on figuring that out.
Oh, thank
and then
you.
that's what happens on this podcast, though, because, you never know where you're going to go. But the combo of the Reese's and the popcorn, I've actually never done it. M&Ms and popcorn, yes. But
Yeah.
later, you were doing this in 98, right? So you were a pioneer.
I mean, I love a food combo, and I like a weird food
Ugh.
combo. Anything that I did a lot of experimentation. So
Give us another weird food
course.
combo. I
this
want
is the
some of
weirdest.
your.
This is awful. This is like
Okay.
the first one that comes to mind is disgusting.
We love awful.
Oh,
This
I
is
love
like
it.
We love disgusting.
Yeah.
I in high school in elementary school I was very much like my mom was at home, and then in high school I became kind of like my mom worked, so I had a lot more free time to myself. And I
Yep.
remember I had like 2 friends over. They had spent the night for like 2 days at this point, and I think it was like 5:00 in the morning, and we had like
Whoa.
our
That's
yearbooks out,
amazing.
and we're just sharpieing the whole thing, and just dunking on people.
Was this a all night affair? Like you beat the night?
Yeah,
Oh.
definitely. We
You beat
loved
the night.
those. We loved those.
Remember when you beat the night
Yes.
Yeah.
for the first time?
Yeah.
And you stayed up and you're like, I did it.
Yeah. Beat the night. T-shirt.
You beat the night.
Yeah.
Beat the night.
And I
Right.
think I wanted to make like bean dip. We didn't have any chips, and I found like a bunch of like
man.
pepperoni.
Where are we going with this?
And I dipped pepperoni in bean dip, and it was great, and we loved it, and we were like, we can't tell anyone about this, but
I
it's
can
so
see
good.
that.
I can see that. I can see you also putting bean dip like on the pepperoni and doing a little roll up.
A little mini taco.
Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
little taco.
Meat taco.
Yes. Yes.
Little
I mean,
meat-
I don't
meat
really
and-
like
Meat and bean
pepperonis,
surprise.
Mhm.
but I do like bean dip, and
Do you like salami though?
I
Heidi?
love
Do
it.
you like
I do
Genoa
like it.
salami?
It's
love
like one of those things where this is another stupid thing. I actually I do think pepperonis taste good, and I think salamis taste good. I think when you're little and you see pepperoni and salami, it looks nasty, and I think I've carried that over into adulthood.
You
where
just
I'm-
think it looks too good for you? Is that what it is?
no,
It is just too good
that
for
one
you?
I think looks too nasty for me. I'm like,
Ooh.
Well,
"Ugh."
okay, so I will give you, especially if you kind of like inspect it on a pizza, pepperoni is like, okay, you know
Yeah.
what? But when you get the hard salami or like the hard stick of pepperoni and you cut it and you really investigate it, you don't really want to know what's in that,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know?
All those
Right?
speckles.
You're like,
Yeah.
something's a little, I don't know what all that is, you know? You come to later find out you were right. You don't want to know what any of that stuff is. But it
Yeah.
does taste delicious to those of us who enjoy such things. So I'm with you though. Pepperoni is a little too spicy, a little too oily for me, but the salami
Good
is
stuff.
really good. But that combo, the
Yeah.
bean dip, and like let's say a heart like a delightful hard sausage of some
Ooh.
sort,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
I think that maybe
Just
the pepperoni could.
That combo.
It's kind of like a chorizo, and maybe those flavors
Mm.
blended that way. You
Yeah.
know.
Bingo.
And that's what it is.
Chorizo.
Justin, I think over the holidays we do the Rosie combo, the pepperoni bean.
The Rosie
dip, when
challenge?
We're together. Yep.
Yeah, we can also get some chorizo too and kind of see how
Do
that
that
plays out.
instead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I bet the chorizo would elevate it.
We could do
got
it
it.
Rosie's way, and then we can see if we can beat her. But we'll be honest, like either way.
I wonder if
What?
the
Can we-
time of
can-
night affects it too. Maybe do it.
Oh yeah, but we have to beat the night.
Probably.
Yeah.
We have to beat
Yeah.
the night.
5 in the morning. 5 in the morning. We're famished, right? And then that's when we break it out. I do have to, Rosie, before we kind of get off this topic though of like the weird food combos and talking about the holidays.
Mhm.
Have you ever done flavor hacking? Is it flavor tripping? Flavor
Flavor
hacking?
tripping.
Is
Flavor
that
tripping. Have you?
is that the thing where you buy that weird gum that makes food taste like something else?
Yeah, it's like a pill.
Ish.
yes.
It's
Yeah.
a pill.
Yeah,
Never
you've
done it. No, I've never. I've been so
Oh.
curious about it though.
Oh,
Do it.
it's really fun.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
but here's the thing. You can buy pills off of, or there's like this kind of weird, like it looks like a laxative, you know, and it's not really a pill
Mhm.
on Amazon. They kind of work, but they're like brown. They don't work really well. Try and get these sort of like concentrated, like really like it's a little tiny pill that you basically just dissolves on your tongue, right? It is insane. It works like magic. You will eat a lemon and it will taste like a piece of candy. It is
Cool.
no joke.
Yeah.
It's
Cool.
insane. And it was one of those things where we're just like you're eating grapefruit and it's just like it's delicious, you know, and it basically just blocks the sour receptors.
Wow.
It's insane. And you're tasting and what's crazy is it doesn't make it sweet. It just blocks the sour. So what you realize is like, wait a second, this has been this sweet for that long? Like it's just this sweet. It just has that much more sour on top of it. It's amazing. It's really amazing.
That's cool. I'll
It would
definitely
be
do that.
a good you and your fiance night in flavor tripping.
It's a good night
that's
in,
gonna
but it
be like
also
a
is
sexy thing.
you could make it a sexy thing if
Yes.
you wanted to, but
You put it on your
you
tongue.
ca- I mean, that's catnip on social media. If you
Yeah.
do that on social media and be like, I got some of these flavor trip, you got to try this.
We'll do
I
it.
guarantee you.
We'll do
That's
it.
that's
Yeah.
a banger. That's
Okay.
a fucking banger.
that would be fun for people to watch. My husband tried sour cream on it, like one of those Dixie sour creams, and ate the whole container because it tasted like ice cream.
Oh yeah. Oh my
It tastes
god.
like ice. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's insane.
Seems like a
It's
smart way to clean
insane.
out your fridge, like before things go bad.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Or even when they do go bad and they get too sour, you can just put that on your tongue and eat
just destroy
rotten
yourself.
food.
No waste, baby.
I don't know what you guys are talking about. This is delicious.
Okay, before we get to your next where we were win pick, I just want to sum up You've Got Mail. You saw it when you're 10 years old.
Yes.
We're coming back to You Got Mail.
We've got to.
Okay.
Did you like know at the time that it was like your favorite movie ever? Or like,
I think I have. I mean, I took something from it that impacted me maybe for life.
oh, see,
And-
that's why I wanted to come back to this.
All right. Hey, listen.
This is
that's
like
fine.
this is a spicy story.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
So this is
Mm.
so crazy. It impacted my family, me, etc. So I saw the movie and now I love it for like the lifestyle of it. Like I love everyone's cute home. It's so cozy. I just love the way people speak to each other and it's great for all those reasons. But as a kid, I feel like I saw the movie maybe 10, 15 minutes into the movie when Meg Ryan discloses that she's made a friend in a chat room. They all are like, have you had cyber sex with him? And that's what I took from that movie. And that night I like went home and got onto the computer and logged into chat rooms. And I propositioned grown men to have cyber sex with me. And the way that I went about it was very charming.
Wait. How old?
She was 10.
I
How old
was
were you?
10. I was 10 years, very
Wait.
precocious.
Can we even talk about this?
Can I talk about being the
A
safe?
10-year-old? I don't know.
Well, we haven't heard
so-
how it ended yet. So
No. It's I'm just wondering. So in any event, go forward, but
I
be
didn't-
careful.
I lied about my age. I'll say that.
Yes.
I lied about my age.
Yes, of course you did. Of course you did. But
there were no pictures exchanged, merely words. And of course, I had no idea what anything was. And so
What
everything was
anything
just
was,
like,
right.
we made out, was kind of like the extent of it. And like the content of it didn't get graphic. What followed was I felt so much guilt about like just going into a room and be like, hey, I want to kiss you and show you my body. And just like, as harmless as you might
Wow.
expect.
right.
I called a family meeting and confessed.
oh my God.
And I was like, I did something so bad and I learned it from this movie and I feel so bad. And my dad wrote me a letter on his like office stationery about how I'd have more than enough time to grow up and that I should just like not do stuff like that on the computer because I never know who I'm talking to. And like, it was just very like sweet and
wow.
Sweet dad.
embarrassing.
But also, I mean, your dad sounds sweet from that, but also I can tell you have sweet parents because you felt like safe enough immediately, like to confess to them, like you weren't,
Yeah.
you didn't
You
keep
self-owned
Yeah.
immediately.
I'm sorry if
And-
I've incriminated you by sharing that. Incriminated myself. I don't know.
No. It's amazing. I mean, like that's and also a parent at that time, you can imagine them sort of like overreacting,
Yeah.
right? Because the internet was scary, still is.
Oh my gosh.
But like the internet was I mean, you're 98 for fuck's sake, right? And so like they're like, this is just a thing. It's gonna happen. The internet is kind of like, there's these other things that happen. So she did the right thing,
Yeah.
coming out and saying it, right? So like that is wow. I mean, big time kudos to your parents for creating an atmosphere where you would feel like you could self-own like that and own up to something like that.
I don't know why
That's
I did
amazing.
that. It's just so peculiar to me because I definitely am a person who, in my teens would hide all my bad behavior, but I definitely was like a little confessor as a child.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
loved confessing
You're a little snitch.
on myself.
I love too that like it was you got
Snitches get
mail.
stickers.
It was, I'm sure like when your
Oh,
parents.
I know too.
Yeah.
the most wholesome movie
Like-
ever.
Yes. I feel like Kids came out the same year. Like
Yeah.
it was You've Got Mail that was like
It did.
Yeah.
And I saw more graphic
did.
stuff than that movie, but I feel like what got me into trouble was the Nora Ephron classic, You've Got Mail. Like that's
Oh my
what
God.
Well, real quick though, differences in our families. You see You've Got Mail and, have this little dalliance with, cyber sex. Our mom takes Heidi to go see Kids
Yeah. And
in the theater.
I don't.
And
I'm
how old were you?
12,
That's rough.
12.
and I don't do
And
anything.
basically it's like, you don't want to be like those kids. Like,
Yeah, and I said no, I
there
don't.
you go. No, I don't.
So that was like the basically considered like
there's
a
some
dare,
inflection points going on there.
like one of those anti-drug or sex videos you see in school. Like my mom used kids as that, and I was like, yeah, okay, you're right. I won't do any of that.
It's like those Scared Straight. Have you ever seen the Scared Straights, right? Where like they would bring those kids in and the prisoners would just destroy them.
Yes.
I mean, yes. I have a feeling it was along those lines because kids was horrible. I mean, it was
terrifying.
horrible,
Yeah.
right? It was terrifying.
I don't think
right?
I saw that
So-
till adulthood, and I was still like impacted a little bit.
Yes.
It's rough today. Those guys hitting that guy with the skateboard. I mean, good Lord, right?
Yeah.
And then just all of Larry Clark's nonsense. Like, yeah, it's just there's a lot of creepy things about that. But yeah, like, well, how about that? Well, Heidi, you wanted to come back to it, so there we are.
So
We got it.
yeah,
we got
I
it.
got it. I
There you
got
go.
We got that spicy story in there.
Spicy story.
got that spicy. Now I
Spice
feel
rack.
I
That was a
feel
whole spice rack.
There's nowhere else to go with You've Got Mail.
No.
We went as far as you can go. So Rosie,
So let's talk about some pussycats.
Wow.
wow.
Perfect.
Which
Perfect.
Rosie, what's your next where we
I
were
mean-
when pick?
It's Josie and the Pussykats.
Underrated
Underrated.
cult classic.
Yes.
2001,
Mm-hmm.
2002, somewhere in there.
Right.
Okay, so what? You're like 14 at this point?
Hold on. I can't do math. Yeah.
That's
Thereabouts.
3.
Maybe like
13, 14.
13,
yeah.
14?
Yeah, 13. Yeah.
Where were you when you saw it?
I was at the United Artists Galaxy 10 Theater in Dallas, Texas. And
Oh,
this was
wow.
like,
You got it.
they said that they were the biggest screen in Texas. So,
So this
it's a
is
good one.
total opposite
Yeah.
of Casa Linda, basically.
Yes,
You're not going to get the
absolutely.
red velvet.
No. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Not at
This
all.
is the new. This is the
Yes.
new. Yeah.
It felt like if there was like, we saw like the Star Wars, like the prequels there. Like anytime
Mhm.
there's something big, lots of action and noise, we would
course.
go to that theater.
Okay. So you move up in the world to like the bigger cineplexes. Do you move up at all in your Reese's Pieces popcorn, or you stay in ride or die with that combo?
At this point, I am having some dalliances with the world of diet culture. And this is like a
Mm.
Texas thing.
Okay.
We have big pickles at our movie theaters.
Whoa.
Pickles
love
are
it.
0 calories. And
Ooh.
so I was eating a big pickle every time I went to the movie theater. But now I just love pickles, period. So,
Yes, I love those too.
Of course.
but they
of
come in
course.
big plastic. It would be like a single,
The
like,
pouches.
yeah. And that's like,
Wow.
I always wanted them in LA when I moved out to LA, and they would not have a big pickle for me at the movie theater.
Spicy or not spicy?
Spicy.
Spicy.
Oh,
Absolutely.
you're all about the spice.
Yes.
Spicy. Gotta have that
Yes.
spicy. Now, I'm going to ask this because that is not, I think, pickles are not really a concession many places besides Texas,
Yeah.
I imagine. How much did the theaters smell like pickle juice?
Oh my God. I don't think I ever noticed it, but it's great that you brought up the juice, because that's why you would get it. Like, you eat the pickle, then you can
juice.
drink it afterwards.
Yeah.
Like you're spilling that juice. Like that juice is spilling, you know?
It would always have
That's
like
not an easy.
the pouches would have like a flat bottom, like a Capri Sun kind of
Oh,
a.
see?
That's
Yeah.
smart.
You know what? They had it figured out because around these parts, Rosie, no flat bottom pickle
Oh,
pouches.
no.
No. So
And Justin,
they figured it out.
I want to correct you just a little. A pickle is a
Must you?
concession at a little league game. Like, we used to get pickles a lot
Oh,
at your
cool. Yeah,
baseball
yeah, yeah.
games, but yes,
Yeah,
not
baseball,
at movie theaters.
Not
as
at movie
much.
theaters
Um.
as much. Come on. Heidi, let's not. Okay.
Okay.
It's
Never.
okay that Rosie had her own shit. Yeah, I'm just saying. But it
Never.
was never. We never had any fucking pickles that are like around here or any
It's
other
true.
place,
I've
any
never
other
had a
fucking
pickle in
theater
a
you've ever
movie.
been. Yeah, you're not gonna make Rosie feel bad by telling her that you've never seen a pickle in a movie theater.
Well, this is what I want to know about when you're eating a pickle during a movie. Is it like Like, how long does the pickle last? Are you eating it throughout?
That's a good-
Do you finish it pretty early on? What happened?
I think you're eating it throughout because these things were massive. And then they're
Yeah.
like noisy and like because you're like slurping and crunching at the same time, like the most offensive noises possible, like to
Oh my
coincide. And the juice, you have to kind of like be balanced. You have to put it back in the juice and take it out of the juice. And
Oh my
it's
gosh.
a whole.
Now, would you
Just-
forgo a drink because you had pickle juice? Like, would you just?
Oh, no, I have to get my Dr. Pepper, my Dr.
Okay.
Pepper and my pickle.
Ooh,
Y'all-
a little
y'all were
spice.
hydrated.
A little spice.
All were hydrated.
Yeah.
Got those electrolytes. Got that Dr. P. You know, Heidi, you got to ask this Mukes about this pickle.
Oh yeah, because he's
about
big
his pickle
Texas.
position.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
If he was a big pickle guy.
We can even have him back on just for a little mini so.
Yeah, mini-so.
talking
Pickles at the theater.
Pickles at the theater.
Yeah.
I love
That's
that.
right.
Okay, so who were you with when you saw Josie and the Pussycats? Do you remember?
Yeah. I was with this girl who was in my movie club the 2 years ago or like 3 years ago prior to this, Julia Russler. And she was a fun gal because she was definitely like the it girl of our, junior high, but she
Okay.
had like a fun, goofy, dorky side about her. Like she had a composition notebook of just Simpsons quotes that she would
Yes.
write down.
Hmm.
And
I already like her.
she would, dress up for things. So this particular viewing of Josie and the Pussycats, we made cardboard guitars and cardboard ears
Wow.
and like wore little outfits.
Amazing.
And it was like that time where like you can't really tell if you're trying to like put on this little costume to be kind of like cute teenagers, like look at us, or if you just are still playing pretend like kids, So it was like kind of a fun little one foot in each
Why
world.
not both?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why
I
not
feel
both?
like Julia
we're
Russler.
still doing that.
Julia Russler was me. I think just from the thing about the notebook of Simpsons quotes.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed with Good Will Hunting that I recorded the entire movie on audio cassette and would listen to the movie in the car,
Oh, I love that.
like a tape of the movie. And I just feel like that's very Julia Russler, just from what I've heard.
We all
I
followed
just like
suit.
that last name, Rustler. Yeah.
Yeah, we all like made composition books like just like hers after that. Like it became kind of a trend. It was a cool thing to
Yes.
happen that like the kind of like it girls at the school like had like these really niche tastes. I feel lucky to have had that be kind of like the status quo at my school.
Yes.
So Rosie, can I ask though? Can I ask like, because this is Heidi, very popular. Okay. Justin, not so popular. Rosie,
Kind of a floater. And I
floater.
liked
Okay.
both kind of.
that's not a bad place to be.
Yeah.
Because you don't really have to commit, right?
Yes.
You don't have to commit to like one group's bullshit. Once something's getting kind of goofy in one group, you can kind of just be like, I'm over here,
Yeah.
right?
I thought I was a
Good
floater,
place.
Justin. I just want to say, I want to say that.
I
think I'm a floater.
think that you were a floater. You wanted to be a floater, but
I floated.
I don't know. Every single time that like everybody was all about, no, you were not a floater.
I did not
You could go between worlds, but you were popular.
I think I
You were
could go
popular.
between worlds.
Yeah.
You were popular and could go between worlds, so it was like the best of both worlds. Like you weren't the one like defining a group. You didn't have like the mean girls, right? You weren't a mean girl, right?
Mhm.
But you were definitely popular.
I think I ranked low on the popular girl list, but if I would go elsewhere, I'd rank higher. Like that's kind of
Mhm.
the space I occupied.
At the lunchroom, right? One table, you might be like 7 of 10. Another table, you might be,
Yeah.
9.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, when you saw Josie and the Pussycats, because it definitely, like you said, underrated movie. I think it was panned when it came out. It's become a cult classic. But did you know from the start, like this movie rules?
Yeah. I think I could tell that it was like satire. Pretty,
Yeah.
and I'm surprised that I could like gauge that. And it was one of those movies where I would probably tell my parents like, "You should watch this. You guys would like this and think it's funny."
Mm.
And I think that it became like a family hit for us.
Oh, so they did watch it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay,
That's
I like
good.
your parents.
They're movie people
good.
though, so I think that that's like part of it.
Yes.
The 3 It girls. There were 3 girls in this, okay? Rattle them off real quick so we can kind of just get a gauge of like who they were at the time.
Rachel Lee Cook, Tara Reid, Rosario Dawson, and then Parker Posey.
Boom.
I think is
Okay.
honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, like she's the
Yes.
queen.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Rosario, Tie to Kids.
Yeah.
Talked about her earlier.
Yeah.
Right. Tara Reid, American Pie. Pre-American Pie? I think this was it pre or post?
Simultaneous, because
I
don't they
feel
have
like it was
Eugene Levy
Simultaneous.
like on the set of American Pie? Like
Yeah,
they
it's
have
like,
the
it
little
was like
clip.
same summer or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And then Rachel Lee Cook was in
She's
a
all that.
TV show.
she's all
Sh-
that.
She was in She's All That.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. So this was definitely like, I think the only other like teenage female leads were what at the time, like Claire Danes, maybe?
Kirsten Dunst was really
They
big.
were like big.
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst. Okay. Right. But that was that during the what's the cheerleading movie that she
Bring
did?
It On.
Bring It On.
Bring It
I think
On.
Bring It On
That was
is a
Bring It
little
On times.
after. But
Yeah.
Kirsten Dunst was still like, I mean, Dick. I mean, she was big
I love Dick.
for a long
Yeah,
time.
She did Interview with a Vampire,
Yeah.
right? You know, and then, but I
Virgin
really felt like
Suicides.
Yeah.
Virgin Suicides, but that was after, wasn't that after Bring It On, or was
Virgin
that before Bring
Suicides
It On?
was 2001. It was before, I think.
It was before. Okay, gotcha. But Bring It On, I think, was really like when I was like, oh, okay, like she's really funny too,
Mhm.
right? Because she had done a lot of dramatic work. But there was a lot of it girls in this.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you've got Alan Cumming.
Oh, I love him.
So funny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Manager. And then, yeah, Parker Posey just like destroying like she does in every movie.
Mm-hmm.
She's great.
I'm trying to think when I first saw it, I feel like it's so weird because it seems like a movie when I saw it in the theaters, I should have loved it. And like I should have definitely known it was satire. And there was something off for me the first viewing, like that didn't add up, or I wasn't seeing what I thought I was going to see. And so I was a little just like bitter on it, or like, that isn't what I thought. And it took my husband, like once I started dating my husband, he was so like crazy about it and being like, it's such a funny movie, that made me watch it again. And I was like, oh yeah, this is great. Why was I such a little bitch about it? I don't know.
Did you want it to be more straightforward, like cool girls in a band, and then it's just like a big straightforward comedy, you know?
Probably.
Yeah. But it's weird because at that time, I think I was old enough that I didn't need it to just be cool girls in a band, but I think that might have been what I was going. You know what? I think I figured it out. So I was a big fan of Archie and Betty and Veronica, and I think I just wanted it to be straight like Archie because I
Right.
think I was and it was just a little too much, and I was like, this is not like Archie and like what I grew up reading. Yeah.
I was like wondering that myself. I was like, why did they choose like this property, like out of all of that, like from that world, and then not reference
Right.
it? It's so interesting. I'm so curious about like the development of the project now because I'm like, they're such tertiary characters in the Archie world. Like, how did it get like, they're like, oh, this is going to be a great vehicle. Or maybe it's like, because of Charlie's Angels was so big. So they're looking for like more trio of like badass women
Yes.
type stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ooh, wait a second. We talk about movies that spawned other movies a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. Charlie's Angels, when was that?
I don't know. I feel like it was either like the year before or the same year. And
Yeah.
maybe they just all knew that these projects were occurring.
Yeah.
That had to be it.
Yeah.
That had to
Yeah.
be it. Because Josie and the Pussycats doesn't make any sense.
No.
There's like what? Yeah, like you're saying, like, and Heidi, the reason why you were pissed off is it's like you knew that these were from Archie, and then they probably didn't mention anything.
No.
It was
Never.
just like, wait a second.
The Josie and the
They just took
Pussycats goes in so many wild turns.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing actually that the movie got made, and it seems like one of those movies where like the director was like gets to do whatever he wants. Like we saw the director. It's a nuts movie in a great way, but yes, not at all like the Archie comics.
No.
But how do you sell that movie? You have to sell it because it's like, hey, this studio's got Charlie's Angels. We're going to have Josie and the Pussycats,
Mhm.
right? And you have to think that that's how they sold it because, like,
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
way that they were just dropping in for this, like, oh, it's going to be like a, a commentary on pop culture. And it's like, no, this is going to be like this is going to be a new team of girls and
Yeah.
they're rock stars and they also go on these wild adventures, right?
Yeah.
That blows up. You've got Josie and the Pussycats 2, Josie and the Pussycats 3. Of course you do, right? Of course it didn't,
Yeah.
right? But that's how it got sold. It doesn't make any sense otherwise. There's
No.
no way people are like, you know what movie I've been wanting to make for a long time? Those Josie and the Pussycats. You remember that cartoon? That secondary cartoon? Archie, yeah, and Betty and Veronica. But yeah, not them, the other girls who were just, had their own side comic, for like, yeah, them. Let's focus on them. Let's put $50 million behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, that's yeah. It's that was sold as another Charlie's Angels. Had to be.
Are the comics
Until we have somebody like Rachel Lee Cook on,
Yeah.
or something like that. It's like, no, actually, we were making a. It's just our ideas go completely out the window. But I'm guessing that's what it is.
Are
Yeah.
the comics from the 70s? Like, was it they're like, oh, it's another 70s property? Like
earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier.
Even
Yeah,
earlier.
and Starsky and Hutch, right? There was some other stuff that was coming out at that time as well.
Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard. Yeah. Oh my God, that was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was really bad. But yeah, like what Hollywood does is like they just go digging, and they're like,
Mhm.
what can we dig out of the fucking graveyard, right? And here it was, Now I have a confession. I have never seen this movie.
Oh.
Oh.
I've never seen this movie, and so I will. But of course I remember it, and of course I kind of
Yeah.
understand the lore around it and the time period, and of course the Archie. They did have a cartoon at one point, though, right? I mean,
Yes.
like during the 80s. Yeah, absolutely. That might have been one other thing. It's like they actually had like a cartoon property, right?
Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier to draw a parallel line between those two things, or draw a line between those two things.
Now, is Josie and the Pussycats a movie like You've Got Mail that you watch, you go back and watch often? Is
Not
it-
the same amount by any
Okay.
means. At this point, like You Got Mail is like a security blanket that like
Yeah.
joins me once a month at least.
Of course.
And
Yes.
Josie is like one of those that like I have collected a tiny bit of like memorabilia of. It just reminds me of like a
Ooh.
specific like sweet time in my life.
Yeah.
And I just like really love the comedy in it. Like I just love how goofy and satirical, and they're just like such small weird choices that all these actors are making, particularly like Alan Cumming and Parker Posey, that I think maybe influenced me in the performance styles that I was trying to achieve in LA. And I always loved kind of like, I think Parker is so underrated. Just like I think she should be an even bigger star than she is, because I think she's just bombastic and chews the scenery and
Yes.
just is in her own special, like she's always Parker Posey in every role, but I think she adds such good nuance to everything.
Yeah.
Love her in
Elevates
this.
everything.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
I agree. Well, Justin, you got to watch it.
I will.
You're in
I
for
will.
a
I have
treat.
to watch it now. I can't wait. If Zeb likes it, if Heidi likes it, if Rosie likes it, it's gonna be hard for me not to like it.
The
I imagine that
music
there's
is
gotta be
great. Like
Yes.
the music is
Yeah.
actually good in this
Yes.
movie.
Music's good.
And I find Rosario Dawson like just eminently watchable. Like
Yeah.
I just the moment you saw her in Kids, right? Like you're just like, oh, her, right? There's a couple of those, but especially Rosario Dawson. You're just like, yep, she's gonna last,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, this yeah, and she's had a really great long career. And Rosario Dawson, um, we've got a fun little story about Rosario Dawson and her mom. Our mom went to Burning Man, for gosh, the better part of a decade,
Mhm.
right?
10 years.
Wow.
And one of the first times she went, um, you go in these campers and you park randomly, where you can find parking, right? There are camps, there are kind of some bigger camps where people sort of congregate, but I don't think that was something that she was doing. She was just going, right, with some people who wanted to go. Um, And so at that time, now it's very like soaked in celebrity and there's a lot of bullshit around it and blah blah blah. People sort of fly in and whatever. But at the time, I think it might have even been her first year, Heidi. Do you
I
remember
think
this
it was her
story? Like
first year.
it was her first year. She went and she was like, "This place is amazing, da 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 da." And I met this. We were staying right next door to this one girl. Do you know her? And it was Rosario Dawson. She was parked right next to Rosario Dawson, and just I guess hung out with her for
She burned with
the
her.
better.
Cool.
She burned with her,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's just one of those, and of course, like she was like salt of the earth and amazingly nice,
Yeah.
But that was pre people kind of knowing about Burning Man and it being like corporate and or,
Mm.
all the stuff. It's before people were riding around segways and shit like that.
Yeah.
This is like OG. We're in a don't have any preferential treatment, just going there for the experience. And so that's why Rosario Dawson also has I have a lot of respect for her. And
Wow.
she just seems very authentic.
Because she was nice to our mom.
I love
So-
that.
Nice to her mom.
I love
So
that.
we love her. We love her. Rosie, we love you, and we loved revisiting your past and some of your most memorable movie going experiences. So
Thank
thank you
you.
for that.
Yeah.
Now, at the end of the show, we like to bring people up to date on current Rosie. We heard a lot
Yes.
about you back then, but we want to know about you now in our segment That's So Raven. We would love to know what you're currently obsessed with.
I'm currently obsessed with making myself like at home, cheap, healthy, organic Taco Bell.
What?
Yeah.
Whoa. Just dive in on this. Dive
like-
in.
Yeah.
To make it like perfectly the same thing, but like with all ingredients that I go get from like a Whole Foods kind of a thing. And I feel like I've really mastered
Oh
like
my
making my own Taco
God.
Bell style tacos.
Wow.
Do you have to use
Wow.
the Taco Bell spice packet to achieve it?
No, and
No?
I'm not a stickler about the flavor matching. For me, it's like the texture. Like I think that like previous iterations of my own homegrown taco would be like melted cheese, but now I'm like, no, you need that dry, like cold cheese
Right.
mixed in with chopped like iceberg lettuce.
You're right.
And
Okay.
this is just my thing. I do it with like, I mean, the meat kind of changes for whatever I'm feeling, but like this like homemade Taco Bell. The only thing I do is I'll go get some like Taco Bell sauce from like Amazon occasionally if I'm
Love
Sure.
that.
wanting that. But this is just I feel like I make it so frequently. It's taken like the place of like a sandwich, in my like
Oh my God.
it's like my lunch.
A taco's a sandwich.
Yes,
I think it's just a sandwich by a different name.
absolutely.
Now, are you just making the tacos or have you dived deeper into the menu? Have you mastered anything else?
I've made like my version of like a cheesy gordita crunch because I can't eat
Jesus
gluten.
Christ.
And I have to like that. And that's what really started this was like, I can't eat gluten. So I have to like make my own like junk food at home. I'll do like a cheesy, like a Doritos Locos taco because they make like a grocery store version of that. If you're so
Wow.
interested,
Okay.
those shells haunt my pantry like all the time. They're fabulous. So like, yes. And I hope to learn to make more Taco Bell items that
Oh
are
my God.
that
You've
are
been
allergen
a-
friendly.
You've been a mind blower on this show. I just want to say there have been so many discoveries. So I already really, really, really loved you. And I'm just like, okay, we need to know each other more.
Let's make some tacos.
I want to give a tip. I want to give a tip though. So no gluten means you can have rice.
Yes.
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 Corn
Yes.
is on. Yeah. You obviously like because of tacos.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna get rid of the corn for a second. Quaker Oats has these like mini rice cakes
Ooh.
that are almost like potato chips
Ooh.
now. Yes.
Okay.
Those are dynamite. And they're, not that this is a big deal, but like they're a little lower in calorie too. So
Yeah.
like I'm like, oh, I could eat a bag of these things.
Do you like
right?
a dip with them or anything like that?
Of course. Yeah, of course. like a yogurt,
Ooh.
some yogurt, it's some um, cheddar cheese, mini rice cakes, right? Because rice cakes usually they're the hockey puck, right? And you're like,
Mhm.
oh my god, right? I actually like those, but a lot of people hate them, right? And they're seen as like not like diet food or
Yeah.
healthy food, right? But these definitely don't have the profile because they're tiny, right? They're
Yeah.
small like that, and they're thinner, right? So they have a little bit more of that crunch, and they don't have like the when you crunch into the other rice cakes, it sort of falls apart. You can just pop them,
Dude.
right?
Mm.
Quaker Oats, mini rice cakes. They've got caramel corn. They have buttermilk ranch, and they have cheddar cheese.
I have just the
Pretty
normal
good.
chocolate rice cakes in my pantry right now. I'm always a fan. And that's so funny because I feel like
Legit.
because of my like platform and where I stand, I think people are like so trepidatious to talk about certain like diety foods, but like there's some like weird diet foods from my like childhood that are like comforting to me. Like my fiance loves Slim Fast because his grandma used to give him like Slim Fast as a
Mm.
snack, like as a
Yeah.
kid.
I have to say,
Yeah.
our grandma used to have Slim Fast too and rice cakes, and
Yeah.
those were some
Yeah.
of the things I would grab. And I'm the same way as your fiance. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I kind of want to taste a strawberry Slim Fast, just for
Well,
nostalgia.
Yes.
our grandfather was diabetic, and so I don't like the taste of normal soda. I only like the taste of diet soda
It tastes better. I'm there
because
with
when
you.
we were growing up, you know what the thing about it is, it's weird. It's a mouthfeel. Like when I drink regular soda now, it just tastes thick. You know, it tastes like there's too much syrup. And the back in the day, like we all we had is diet soda around, so
Yeah.
we would just drink diet soda, caffeine free, diet Pepsi, and yeah, it doesn't taste right anymore. So when I go to the theater, it's not a diet or health thing. It's just I prefer the taste of like a Diet Coke or a Coke Zero
Yeah.
because that's just what I grew up with, and it tastes lighter and it tastes more refreshing. When I get the other stuff, it definitely to me it just tastes like it's just kind of heavy,
I get
and
it.
syrupy. So
I have Dr. Pepper Zero in my fridge right now. Like we're obsessed with it. And it is peculiar because like the diet cola taste, it's just there's something about it that I prefer. And I think that that's like just a
mhm.
lifelong thing. Maybe it's our generation or something like that. Because I feel like that's when all the diet drinks came out, it was like the 80s and 90s. And
Hmm.
Yeah.
it could be that.
Well, I'm here to say that I'm glad I'm not like you guys. I like the regular sodas for
You like the
sure.
regular soda.
For sure.
I'm glad I'm not like you guys, you crazy
You
weirdos.
crazies.
So Heidi, but you're like us in one way
Okay.
is that you are into things.
I am into things.
That how about that segue? Um, so Heidi, what is your pick for That So Raven this week?
Okay, so my pick, so like I said, it's my week off. I have
Ooh,
been
and only 1 week. You only get 1 week.
1 week, and
Back to
it
work.
was kind of a busy week. The beginning of it, just I stuff my week full of the things that I can't do when I'm at SNL. So it was kind of busy. And when I had a day off yesterday, like just totally off, I was just like, what do I want to do? And my brain was like a little too scattered to just like binge TV. Like I could feel my ADD, but I didn't want to be on my phone either. So Zeb
Uh-huh.
and I have one of those like mini Super Nintendos that's loaded with all the games. And I played
Mm.
Dr. Mario for, I mean, until you get to level and beat level 26. I mean, I went off on Dr. Mario.
Legit.
And I just want to say out
Legit.
there, if anybody, because when I was a kid, I couldn't understand Dr. Mario. It was way too hard. It was like Tetris, but harder and killing viruses. And I was like,
Puzzles?
it was those
Is it
little
puzzles or is it
viruses.
just Tetris?
Um,
Is it just Tetris though? Or is
no,
it
no,
I'm
no,
trying to
no.
remember what it is.
So Tetris is like shapes fitting into each other.
Yeah, I know what
which I could
Tetris
get.
is. Yeah.
So in Dr. Mario, it's like all these little like blue, red, and yellow viruses. And when you get 4 of the same
Oh.
color, then you kill a virus. But like your grid is full of like all these viruses, and then you have falling viruses. So you have to choose where to put like the red and yellow on top of another red and yellow, whatever. But it was like the best way for me to relax. Like when I'm playing Dr. Mario, I can't think about anything other
Yeah,
than
you
Dr.
can't.
Mario. And I'm just not a video game person anymore. But I kind of was like, oh, now do I get video games? Like I
Yeah.
like that you can only concentrate on this thing and none of the outside world. So Dr. Mario is what I'm obsessed with, like big time.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. And you know what? I agree. That's why I like to work out. It's really hard to think about other things when you're working out. But video games in like that will just like take your it's like movies, right? It's hard to think about other stuff when like a movie's on.
Yeah.
Right? And you're just focused, especially when you're in a movie theater, right?
Mm.
Yes.
It's hard to think about other stuff, right?
Yes.
So yeah, that's great.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Mario.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And Justin, what are you into these days?
I'm into something actually pretty cool.
Okay.
So I don't know if you know, but I have this amazing desk calendar. 63 Earths can fit inside Uranus.
Okay.
And
It's a desk calendar. Awesome. I love those.
mhm,
I
yep.
haven't had one in a
And
while.
and this is you haven't had a desk calendar in a while? Well, you're about to get one because this is all new for 2022.
Oh.
And
Ooh.
I actually wrote some of these. So this is
Okay. Here.
no, I'm serious.
Nice.
Whatever.
I did.
No, you
This is
didn't.
this is my company. This is my company.
You
Did
don't
you know?
work for a
Did
desk
you know?
calendar company.
I don't work for a desk, but we do facts and stuff. And so like this is come on, I can do things too. I could like this is a real thing. This isn't like something that I'm just like making up. Like
Okay.
look, this is a legit desk calendar.
Yeah.
It says
I can
2022.
see that it's a legit.
Okay?
I know that you didn't make a desk calendar. That would be like a hard DIY. I just don't believe that you wrote it. Because I also
You don't believe that I wrote any of this?
Well, read me one of yours.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna do. All right. Look at this. All right. I'm gonna move over to the side. What's that behind me on the wall?
Wow.
The box.
That's the 2021 version. It says
Wow.
2021. This is 2022. How would I have that on my wall if I didn't make the 2021 version?
Okay.
2022, Heidi.
If you
Heidi,
wrote it,
Heidi.
give one away on the show.
I wrote some of it. I can actually, I've got a ton of these things. So,
Okay.
I will give one away. But what I would
Once it's
rather
2022.
people buy it. I would rather people buy it. Because this is actually, this is, this helps
Okay.
my bottom line.
I
So-
will buy it. I will buy it, and then we can give one away.
Yeah. We'll give one away. We'll just do a social media thing. It won't be anything like on the actual like YouTube itself because that's for like art stuff,
Yeah.
right? We want to like feature other people's stuff. This will just be a social media. Of course, but you can go to Amazon. You can get this.
Oh, go to
But
Amazon.
seriously, like this is something that I edit and I write. And 63 Earths can fit. It's actually pronounced Uranus, by the way, not
Mm.
Uranus.
Ooh.
Uranus
Uranus.
is how you pronounce this. And there are just pick a date. Pick a date. Any
July
date.
27th,
And
my
I'll-
birthday.
July 27th. In the early 1900s, carnival prizes were mostly for parents, not kids. A common prize given to winners was a cigar, so most etymologists believe that almost winning an impossible game is what spread popularity of the phrase close but no cigar. How
Wow.
about that?
Wow.
July 27th. So there you go. Close but no cigar. It's fun. And so, I don't often do this. I usually feature other people's products on this part of the show, but this is actually mine. So
Okay, well, love
ta-da.
Cool.
Yeah. So we can give one away. But everybody else buy one.
it. Yeah. Everyone buy one. Did you know desk calendar 2022? Can I give you
That's right.
did you know for next year 2023?
Of course.
Like,
yeah. We're already editing it.
Dad texted me this today. Did you
Okay.
know that you can't plug your nose and hum at the same time?
Is that true? Do you want to try it?
Right? You like can get maybe a little out.
So can you not hum with your
I feel like I'm just grunting.
I think I just did it. I think I just did it.
Wow.
You just have to open up a little corner of your mouth and the air will escape. Now, it's all...
You can't.
You can't. Okay, it'll not go in the calendar. Oh, well, hey, listen. You know what I think would be appropriate now,
What?
Heidi?
What?
Since you didn't believe that I wrote that, I think it would be appropriate for you to actually let me pitch you a sketch. Like, not just start it off and like say 3 words. Rosie, have you seen this nonsense that she puts me through?
Not the 3
I try
words.
to like, yeah, well, maybe I get 5 out, right?
Okay.
It's like, okay, so blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, right? Or she walks away, or she cuts the feed, or something, some nonsense, right? Yeah. And don't you feel bad about it? It's right before Thanksgiving. This is going to drop right before Thanksgiving.
I do feel
right?
bad. I feel bad that
Aren't you
didn't-
thankful for your brother?
I am very
Aren't you thankful for your
you.
brother?
And I didn't believe that you wrote the calendar. And you know what? I've got work next week and I've only been playing Dr. Mario, so I need ideas. So
Yeah. Do it for Thanksgiving. As
Yeah.
a Thanksgiving,
Do it for
gesture.
Okay. So, I think it'd be really funny. All right, you're gonna let me say it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
You're not gonna cut me off.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I think it'd be really funny if we'll just always do weekend update characters, right? Because I'm not gonna mess with sketches because
Okay.
I don't. Yeah. Weekend update character. Susie Smash. Okay. She is a cage fighter, and she's here to smash the patriarchy. Okay.
Mm,
2 funny things, right?
Okay.
You know, 2 funny things in one.
okay.
And she comes on because you know, she's a cage fighter, but she's also an online influencer. She's like a chef. Okay.
Oh.
So they bring her on. Online influencer, Rosie.
Yeah.
You got this.
Yeah.
You understand the game.
It's real.
Right? It's real, right? So it's that duality, right? She's like this like violent person, but she's also creates these beautiful things, right? And as she's, you know, she brings on this beautiful cake, and as she is talking through the ways that you can basically upend the patriarchy, she is smashing her fist down into this cake, and it's just spreading everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's getting all over Che. It's getting all over. I don't know. Who's the other guy?
Colin.
Colin Jost. Yeah, Colin. Usually Che's right next to you.
Yeah.
But getting all over Colin. And I don't know. I just think it would be funny, like, to have something that's more like this physical comedy, and like you're talking about smashing the patriarchy. Because you know, right now, you know, the patriarchy is in trouble. And you know, I think that's be a
Okay.
good time to, you know,
I
go
think
after
Yeah.
let's just end it on the pitch, which was totally fine, and let's not kind of go.
I don't know. I like the
political.
cake imagery of it. I think that like maybe there's some
Right.
cool merchandising that could come out of that. Like,
Oh wow. Okay, so we're
right?
making
Like
money off
like a
of it.
fist with like a cute
yeah,
manicure.
Susie Smash.
Boom.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Susie Smash.
Would you get a chunk of that?
Fist coming down.
Might get a
I
chunk
don't
of that.
know. I don't know. We haven't talked about this. Maybe.
I don't-
Probably. I should.
I
I should.
guess-
I don't think it's.
I mean,
it's
maybe
probably
you
will make it on the
two-
show.
Maybe.
I mean, listen. I mentioned critical race theory. And I don't know if you've really heard about what's going on with critical race theory.
Absolutely
in-
not.
You haven't heard about it?
No,
It's-
absolutely. We're not ending the show, the last segment being Justin's corner on critical race theory. At the end of a show, we were just talking about
Do you-
Butterfinger bites.
And then what shows up on the show the next week?
The real threat is critical race theory being taught in our schools.
No,
Interesting.
that has
Sounds like you're in
nothing-
someone's
Crazy.
ear that might be in
Nothing
that
to do
writing
with
room.
anything.
Nothing
Yeah.
to do-
But I was.
Okay,
I
if
wonder
I'm
how
on
it got up
Weekend
here.
Update next week
Hmm.
and there's cake involved, at any point, you guys both get $50.
Wow.
That's it.
Oh, I get a
Wow.
whole $50?
Yes.
That's amazing.
I'll take
Yes.
mine in
That's
gift card
amazing.
format, you know, because I'll just put it into savings
That's
if it's
right.
not a gift card. I want to spend it on me.
Susie Smash,
Okay.
smashing the patriarchy. She's a cage fighter. Listen, if you can pull Jesse Raunch off, you can pull off Susie Smash.
Thank
Okay,
you.
so
Thank
all right,
you. And
you
thank
can work with that.
I will see if I can work with that. Thank you all for working with us, especially on this last
thank you for
segment
working with
of
us.
the show. Thanks for hanging in there.
I know it's such a burden.
It's always a little shaky. Always is a little bit of a burden for the
Yeah.
sister.
Rosie, thank you. Thank you for
Thank
backing
you.
me up. I
Thank you.
appreciate
No,
that.
just thank you, Rosie, not for backing him up, for being on the show and being so
I can thank her for both
Rosie.
things.
I mean, I was
Being so Rosie.
incentivized to help you with your sketch, but I mean, I'm happy to be here. I had
Yes.
fun.
Hey, whatever works.
I talked my friend's ear off about movies, so I'm happy to be
It's
here
good.
and do the same.
It's nice to be
Get it
with
right.
come full circle, like we were talking about
Yes.
at the top of the show, and be with part of our tribe. Rosie, you are part of our tribe. You guys can find Rosie on social media. Rosie Beeme, ROSEYBEEME. She's a delight. She's hilarious. You'll love to follow her and see her life. And her new cat,
Phoebe, the star
Ugh.
of my apartment.
just incredible.
You know,
We
Justin, I'm doing a gift guide for Christmas every year. Maybe I can slide that
Ooh.
bad boy.
Slide
I
it
mean,
in.
Everybody needs
Ooh.
one. Yeah.
That's
Oh my
right.
God.
Sorry to cut
okay,
you
that
off.
I approve of.
Yeah.
That
My
I love.
faves.
You approve of that.
And
You
it's
approve
on
of that.
Amazon.
Okay.
I mean, I do an Amazon gift guide every year. So
It's on Amazon.
Yeah.
Yep. 63. We've been doing this for the past 4 years and it's sold out every year. So,
awesome.
you know, yeah.
It's fun facts.
And it's also, here's the thing. Here's the other legit thing. Andrews McNeil Publishing.
Wow.
Okay. So those are like, they publish Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh,
right?
cool.
So like this, it's legit, like top tier publishing. So I got some connections. I got some connections.
I love it. I love it.
Swipe
That's
up.
all this show is about is connections.
That's right.
And we've connected with you guys. Thank you so much for listening. And we will see you and talk to you next time on Where We Were When. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
You've got mail.
Perfect.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in and watching Where We Were When. We're going to be taking a couple weeks off. We'll be back December 9th. Happy Thanksgiving.